just going to click back. So you see that you can go to live here. I'm just going to go back here. Okay. So now we've basically hit most of the options and the settings. See, we've created our new webinar. So once we're ready to jump into the webinar, we can just click jump room or join room. So once we join the room, if for whatever reason it's not loading, just reload the screen. And so you
in this conference.
All right, so here we just joined the room, and we're going to go through all of the options here. And so right now I'm just in here by myself, but typically you would see users coming in. Let's just go into the settings. So there are a ton of options in this, so it's absolutely vital, even though everything looks so simple in the dashboard and the menu. In the actual room itself, we enable you with a ton of options. So let's just go through them one by one. It might take a little practice for you, but that's okay. So there's some features here that aren't gonna necessarily work because I'm recording, so I'm not gonna be able to share my webcam here as well as through the recording. So this is something that you can test yourself. It should work. If you're doing this through Google Chrome or Edge or any Firefox, it should work pretty well. There's a good chance you might need to give permission, and usually permission comes up here, and you would just click accept. Okay, so let's just start from the top. So public chat, right? Hello. So you can publicly chat. Anybody can chat. You can also save a copy if you click on the menu option for public chat. You can copy, you can clear, you can save your conversation if you want to review it, maybe. It's very helpful to review to see what people say. If you ask questions, and I encourage you to ask questions. You should ask questions about people's opinions and so on. So it's a good way to go, if you don't have time during the webinar, so you can look after the webinar with regards to any questions. Share notes. So share notes are notes that you want to share with others. This can be kind of helpful if you want to convey some information with the group. Obviously your slides are not highlightable, so maybe you want to convey information, so that would be a good use case for that. Notes. Okay, and so this remains here. Let me just click here, and it'll stay. The notes will stay here. So share notes also is helpful for maybe you want to put your notes about what you want to talk about. So this will be in front. It'll be in front here for you to see. Here we have users. Here we have user options. So obviously we are showing this from the perspective of an admin. You can change your emoji or your status. And the admin has the option to mute all users except for the presenter, to lock the viewers, guest policy, right? Maybe you want to ask the moderator if somebody wants to join. You can save the usernames. You can tell people to change your icon. Like if you want to ask people how they're doing, you can say, raise your hand if you have something to say, so you can change the icon here. You can create breakout rooms, which are very popular in programs like Zoom, so you can do that as well. You can assign people to rooms. You can choose the duration. What else should I mention? The learning analytics dashboard is not live yet, I believe. So ignore that feature. We are still writing it. Still coding it out. No, sorry. Is there anything else? So that basically wraps up the user features here. User related features. A few other things you can do. You can start a poll. You can share external video. So if we click on this, you can add a video from like YouTube or a URL. You can, if you want to offer, let's say, a prize, you can do select random user to somebody here. And you can manage presentations. Presentations are files. So these are your PDFs, perhaps, or maybe PPT files, but the system is optimized for PDF. So let's see. The reason why you don't see anything here in all these slides is because this PDF is technically in a blank PDF. See if we can actually add something. And then make sure to click upload. So obviously this is something you'd want to do before your presentation begins, because it could take a little time to import the document. So here we go. We've imported the document. So you can go through this presentation, right? Here, this is a manual for the motherboard. So this is something you can do, you would want to do prior. You can also start recording, and you can stop recording, and you can resume again if you'd like. You can share your screen by clicking here. And so this will allow you to share your full screen along with the audio, share a window or a tab. One more thing I wanted to mention. The share the webcam and leave the audio, turn on the audio. That's something that in most cases you probably want to have on, but there might be some cases when you don't want it or when you don't need to. Minimize presentation closes most of the displayed settings, but we want to keep this on. Now we can kind of get to the engagement. As you see, there's this little red pointer here, so that's helpful to, if you want to kind of show people where the mouse is or where they should be looking. You can use a pencil and draw here if you like. You can create shapes and text. And if you want to clear annotations, you can just click on the garbage can. Also, choose the thickness, the color. You can undo. So hopefully this makes sense as to how you can kind of engage your presentation. Now, multi-user whiteboard allows you to create an interactive whiteboard. Now, the last thing I just want to point out is this menu option here. The bar here and the color signals your connection. So you can turn on or off other people's webcams. This can help with latency. And you can enable or disable desktop sharing. This will also help potentially with latency. We can make this full screen. Okay, so now if we jump into the settings, again, you just click on the options here. You can make this full screen. You can end the meeting. You can leave the meeting. You can look at keyboard shortcuts for, speeding up certain functions. You can click on settings and to look at more settings. You can change the font size. You can change the layout some. You can change which notifications you see or don't see. And there's the data savings, which is regarding webcams and desktop sharing. So we just covered all of the options. One thing I didn't show you guys is how I made you can change the presentation to either fit to the screen or fit to the width. In most cases, you'll probably want to do fit to width just in case people's screens aren't wide enough to show everything. So that's basically it. If you have any questions, you can definitely reach out to support. And then, obviously once we're done, we click end meeting. So that concludes our tutorial for SMBwebcast.